Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Out of the Darkness. I am your man, Q. So, I wanted to get back into this Lynn Wood reading, this interview that was conducted on behalf of Lynn Wood. You guys continue to support it. You guys continue to ask for it. So, I'm going to continue to go through it for you, line by line. Once again, forgive me. I know my reading is shaky when it comes to this. Guys, it does not flow. It is an interview. It is conversation, dialogue between two people. It is not a novel. And so I appreciate you guys being so supportive as we go through it. So if you are just now getting into it, that's okay. That's all right. Don't worry about it. I have set this up so that it flows. And each of these episodes will stand on their own. Now you can go back and catch up on the things that you missed before, but don't worry about it. Just jump in wherever you jump in and fill in the gaps. But it will make sense to you. I promise you that. So when we left off the last time, we were discussing how Sean Bridges was using various illegal funds and was purchasing Bitcoin and manipulating the Bitcoin market online, and all of the criminal activities that go along with that. And our whistleblower had just finished, or is just finishing up his second incarceration, unfairly and unjustly. And so I want to get back into this real quick. So without further ado, let's get back into it. So the interviewer starts off by saying, "So how were you released, and what has your life been like since that second incarceration?" Interviewee: "Well, there's ginormous health problems since the first one with all the beatings and the poisoning and torture and stuff. My medical records tend to scare people because it actually has medical code for intentional poisoning on there, and people think I tried to kill myself. And I explained to them that what it was, and so they can understand. And I had some decent doctors throughout time, but it's been nothing but a horrible balancing act health-wise. My wife lost her daughter, has not spoken to her since it happened in 2009. She didn't know she was married. She didn't know she's a grandmother, and has not seen or spoken to her since 2009. Because of this, because her daughter believes everything the court says, her daughter's actually an attorney, so she believes everything they say. So she's lost to me even more. But the health has been severely compromised. I do take several medications to help, hormone replacement being one of them, because they actually crushed one of my testicles beyond saving. I remember that night, and they damaged the endocrine system so badly that I have to take supplements and things to help with that, and other things to help me eat and digest things like that, because it's all scar tissue. I don't absorb well, and so I take vitamin supplements, things like that, to get what I need. I have to take large amounts of medicine because I don't absorb a fraction of it. And in 2015, when Inaudible, to get me, he used all that against you, cut you all off. He doesn't need any of that. I mean, they cut me completely off. So now you're going through withdrawals. They're interrogating you. I was interrogated multiple times by the FBI, CIA, and not CIA, excuse me, Secret Service. That guy's Secret Service. It's all in the transcripts of the court. There's a very well known, like 14-hour interrogation then, and 7.5 hour polygraph in one day, back to back, because they wanted to know what was going on and how exposed they were. They wanted to know what plans I had revealed. Interviewer: I hope you guys still have that polygraph interview. Interviewee: the FBI have theirs, and the Secret Service. The Secret Service would have theirs. They brought they brought in their top polygraphers. Nice people. They were very professional. It was long, after 14 hours of the FBI and 7.5 hour polygraph. Uh, no matter how nice they are, it was a long day. But of course, that has messed you up, and the health still deteriorates. And Rod, I'm working with Miss Atchison on her case to expose this. Rod had me flagged in the system by Rosati, so that cut off any filling any medication. I haven't had any medications in 14 months, so I'm bleeding and bloated and no, not in the best shape. Not as good a shape as I recovered to. I'll never be back to what I was, but I got to a decent place because when I'm really bad, I use canes to get around and stuff. I guess it's just so weak. But it's not been a good one. I've been on probation until October of this year. So it's been, what's your employment? What's your employment history been like in the last couple years? Interviewee: sporadic. I was working part-time jobs, and I would work, and if the job got a little too physical or something, I would swell up. I couldn't work. It was hard to find work because you're a felon and you can't hold any professional licenses or be bonded or anything like that. So you're relegated to small, odd jobs. Like I said, if it was something a little too physical, you couldn't do it long because you would flare up, and then you're decommissioned for a month while your intestines heal back up, or you stop bleeding, or you're in the hospital again. There weren't many employers that would put up with that too long. So legally disabled because of it, and working part time as best as I can right now. I have I have one that's fairly steady with some nice people, and I'm very grateful for it because it's all we have. It becomes a little much occasionally, but they're nice people that work with me. I'm going to go ahead and end it there, guys. We're about to get into some pretty interesting stuff, and I don't want to haphazardly jump into it. I want to say real quick, thank you guys so much to those of you guys that have been supporting us through Patreon. Guys, I don't push it. I don't like talking about it too much because I don't want to come across as though I'm putting pressure on anybody, because that's definitely not the case. But for those of you guys that have decided to support us via Patreon, thank you guys so much. It would be very hard to continue providing free content without that. So thank you for partnering with us. If it's on your heart, or if you feel the desire to support us via Patreon, in the description of the video, our Patreon address is there, and it'll take you right to it. It's very easy, very quick to set up, but many of you guys have decided to partner with us, and we're very thankful for that. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Be sure to comment below. I love seeing you guys' comments, love hearing what you guys have to say. Again, I'm not in any way condemning anybody for any of this, but it is very important that we at least hear this brave whistleblower out. And I think it's important that we know what's going on, and hopefully these people will have their day in court. And if they're guilty, then they need to pay the price. If they're not, then they have a chance to clear their name. So have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys later. Be blessed.